News Talk 1240.
All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Wimpy's Restaurant in Soddy Daisy across from City Hall. Less's Pawn Shop, 4742 Highway 58, Chattanooga. Stuff and upholstery with premium rubber foam. Cell Surgeon, the Broken Screen Dock. And Shooter's Supply, 4824 Hickson Pike in Hickson.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Enter your guesses now and listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got third. He's going for second. Earnhardt going for the lead.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is on the Motor Racing Network.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Hear it live on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Check it out live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Rubber's tough, but foam rubber is soft. Foam rubber is the star at Stuff It Upholstery, which uses it to revive your couch, your embarrassing easy chair, your boat seat cushions. Stuff It Foam Rubber in Hickson covers Chattanooga and surrounding areas. Don't throw out that favorite easy chair that's grown haggard and barbaric. New life for your seat cushions. Premium auto-grade rubber foam for your restaurant, church, or business. Stuff It Upholstery brings comfort and relief. Go ahead, skid away from flat, dull, and droopy cushions. Relax, restore, revive. When comfort matters, stuff it. 4608 Hickson Pike, 877-1616. Ask for Larry. That's 877-1616.
Oh, modern day technology can be very frustrating, especially when your flat screen TV, laptop, or PC just won't work. Well, don't throw them away. Aspire Computers, laptops, and TVs can fix your broken equipment in as little as one day. You know, they also give free estimates, and that means no charge to look at your TV or computer and to give you an estimate on how much that repair will cost. It's free. You invested a lot of money in your flat screen TV and computers. Bring them back to life. The professionals at Aspire Computers and TV can help. Aspire Computers, laptops, and TVs. Their sales, service, and parts are located on Highway 58 next to CVS Pharmacy. Or visit them at their second location now in Soddy Daisy. They're just across from Home Folks Restaurant. Aspire Computers, laptops, and TVs. They'll fix your flat screen TV and computers when others can't. Call 362-4444 Soddy Daisy or 508-8122 on Highway 58. Aspire Computers, laptops, and TVs, Highway 58 next to CVS Pharmacy. In Soddy Daisy, just across from Home Folks Restaurant. Aspire Computers.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hit me with your best shot, baby. You don't remember this, Russell, do you?
I've heard it. Actually, I heard it in Guitar Hero, so that shows how
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Russell's like, what are you, like 8 years old, right?
Right. Something like that.
I mean, I used to play this stuff on the radio, dude. You know?
You're off by about 13 years, but you know.
Let me ask you this. Who did the song?
Who did the song? That was...
Oh, man. I'm just feeling so old right now. Pat Benatar.
No, that wasn't Pat Benatar.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't. I only played it every hour for like 9 years.
Yeah.
It was a big song, man.
Oh,
but
yeah,
this is Best Shot. This show allows you to give your opinion based on our tweets throughout the week. And I'll be honest with you, I'm the guy tweeting it. I'll tweet and retweet, but most of the headlines. Actually, let's be honest. All the headlines are written by me.
That's very true.
We're going to be.
I think no responsibility.
So, how are you today, Russell?
I'm fine.
We haven't done a show live for a long, long time.
Not together. No, it's been a while.
800-8949-423 is the area code. 423-800-8949. You want to give an opinion on one of our tweets? Let's talk about some of the tweets from the last week and what they may mean to you, Russell, or to our audience. And I am, for the first time, using this Facebook app. We are actually broadcasting live video over Facebook. So you can go to Facebook, Hot News Talk Radio, Is it 12:40 a.m. I should know our Facebook site.
It's hot. I'm like, hey, what's this technology stuff here? Where's the records at?
If you,
I don't see any records, Russell. Where are the records at?
They're somewhere in the back. If you go to Facebook and search for Hot News Talk Radio, it comes up. It's like the first result.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's got 12:40 in there somewhere, but it's at the end. So we're all good.
So here we are. So, and why we're broadcasting video, of a radio show is. Because we do that. We do it on YouTube.
Well, I mean, this is pretty popular. Video podcasts are really popular. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like, it's a neat little thing. It adds some visualization to what we do. Yeah, it makes us more human because I'm not very human anyway.
Oh, the Confederate flag. Oh, it must be racist. No, you jackass.
It's Southern pride. It's nothing to do with race. So here's some of our tweets, 889-49. If you happen to not like any of them, and tell us why. Share us your views and opinions. Share those views and opinions with the world. Second biggest listenership here, Russell, is in China.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not joking. Our first biggest, obviously, is in America.
I thought you meant I was in China for a second. I was like, no,
I'm going to send you to China in 2 seconds. You'll look like it. Look at how many shoes on.
I never wear shoes.
I know you don't.
It's because of Southern pride.
This place stinks, man. I walk in. We have Jill here. I'm like, Jill, just forgive the guy smell. You always know when just guys are at radio stations. The station stinks.
Oh, I know. It
smells like a locker room.
Yeah.
Thank God women come in once in a while to make it smell nice. That little perfumey smell. It almost smells like a bad Dollar General.
Oh, it does. Yeah, I never thought about that.
All right, so let's get to our tweets. Hey, PETA idiots.
Oh, I love this one.
Gorilla was shot to save a 4-year-old child. Oh, that's right. You nut jobs hate humans. Priorities. Save unborn babies. So every time you read this, you hear my voice in your head, don't you?
Yeah, from now on.
Okay. But I can tell you this. A lot of times, and most of the time, I don't get any negative comments on these tweets. Here's another one. Glenn Beck is an idiot.
And he is.
He isn't. He's an idiot. Glenn Beck, you're an idiot. A patriot would never harm the president of these United States. I don't care who they are.
Right.
And a patriot is one who loves and defends their country. They're constitutionalists. They believe in the strict application of the Constitution. And they would never harm any president. So when Beck says, Beck I call him, he's a baby patriot. He just got into the movement about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He found out about the Fed. Oh, the Federal Reserve exists. Oh, they print money with no backing. Oh. Well, yeah. Well, guess what? Yeah, it's been going on since like 1913. Get a clue.
Yeah, it's not like he's original or anything.
Right.
There's nothing new about anything he says.
So, I mean, he does a lot of good, but the fact that he's talking this stupid stuff is trying to associate patriots with radicals. And patriots aren't radicals. I tell people that because, at times people will say, well, you're radical. Well, really? How is protecting unborn babies, believing that you have a right in your property and your money, not going to war without a declaration as the Constitution demands, and limited government being radical? Well, I'm not the radical. You are.
I mean, and plus, that means the Constitution will be horribly radical, right? Like, the guys who wrote the Constitution must be the most radical dudes ever.
Actually, at the time, they were.
Oh, I know.
But, this is about, I watched the clip on ABC promoting Hillary. And you have to remember, the national media will always promote the liberal Democrat because the election is always about money. Let's break this down to its common denominator. Money, power. That's what the election and all elections are about. And those who are unaware of being unaware. Socialists, collectivists, rhinos, those who look to government for something are afraid of a guy like Trump or a guy like you and me that really want limited government because they see their money going away. It's nothing more than that. They want Hillary because Wall Street knows, and the bloodsuckers from the system, all the bureaucrats and all the welfare recipients, including people that collect Social Security, because that is welfare. That is an entitlement. And I don't want to hear, well, I paid into it. No, you didn't pay into it. You paid an income tax called FICA, and you're collecting it as an entitlement. It's welfare. If you get a check from the government without working, it's welfare, period. And people don't want to hear that. Hillary represents the status quo. The system will continue to take your money, Russell Stroud, and your money, and compel you to file all sorts of paperwork with them so they can redistribute your wealth. The founders never envisioned a nation whereby everyone can vote and vote the wealth away from those producers.
Well, this is something that I think is really interesting, is they may have envisioned that, and that's why they put all these safeguards. They say, well, this could happen, so we need to put all these safeguards in the Constitution.
Well, that's why we don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic.
Right.
A democracy is rule of the masses, of the mobs. And our republic cannot survive if the majority of the people get the vote people in that will steal your money and your property.
It's the tyranny of the 51%.
So the idea that an illegal alien, a criminal illegal alien, because they're all criminals if they're here not legally, can vote is repugnant and repulsive, or get a driver's license. It's beyond being ridiculous. In any other country, you and I would be thrown in jail for being there illegally.
Well, not in Europe. Not anymore in Europe.
Look at Europe, though. Come on.
I know.
People compare. I mean, look at Europe. Really? I mean, really? Look, the English won't be English anymore. And think about this. If we lost if we lost the Revolutionary War, the War for Independence, we'd be speaking English.
Well, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that be horrible? That we would all speak the same language we speak right now?
Now they say if we lost the war, we'd be speaking German.
Right, I know. I've heard that before. I had grandparents,
It's a joke, my boy. All right, so and your family goes back to the Revolutionary War.
Before then, too, yeah, that's true.
You can actually trace your roots back to some royalty.
Well, no, not royalty, but people who fought for royalty, if that makes any sense.
So I would kill you if we were back then. You and I would be fighting, right?
Well, if you'd
be fighting for the crown, and I'd be trying to blow your head off.
If you were Anglo, yes. Yeah, no, there wouldn't be anything to blow my head off because there weren't even cannons back then when we were fighting for royalty.
I had to cut your head off.
Yeah, 1066. He was a crossbowman.
Got to be so accurate, don't you?
Mm-hmm. He was a Norman crossbowman, if you're curious.
Norman this. All right, so
War and de Lestrade. Right.
Let's go to another one of our tweets. Our number is 800-8949, 423-800-8949.
Well, I'm sorry. Can we talk about the gorilla for a second?
This is Best Shot. Gives you a chance to give an opinion. Do you think the gorilla should have been shot? The gorilla shouldn't have been shot. Do you like Hillary? Do you hate Hillary? What about Trump? We all know that people vote for Democrats for one primary reason. So they can keep their money coming from the federal government. That's why they vote. Or they can keep their job.
It's voting in their own self-interest.
Yeah, you don't vote for a Democrat if you produce anything, ever. Because you're never going to get hired by a poor person. You're going to get hired by somebody with money. But, if you vote, listen, half my family members are Democrats. So, and I haven't forgiven them yet. Or rhinos, Republicans in name only, like Lindsey Graham and John McCain,
McCain.
And Nitwit Mitt. He was a nitwit when he was running. He's still a nitwit. And Bush, he's another liberal. I understand why half the Bush family isn't in prison. First of all, for giving Saddam Hussein, Bush Sr., when I was doing talk radio back then, I was screaming in the 80s, why are you giving this guy $5 billion? You gave him $5 billion with a B.
That's a lot of money.
And then they go in there and attack him without a declaration of war, and they turn everything upside down. You think these people think like us in the Middle East? You can't democratize them. They live in mud huts. They don't even know what the hell democracy is.
Well, you're trying to give them something that they don't want in the first place.
And who cares? You think I care if they have a right to vote? I don't give a damn if they have a right to vote. Why do I care? All I care is they don't build bombs, and if they do, let's nuke them. Do I care? Why do I care that they have a right to vote? You shouldn't have a right to vote. How about that? Only Tennesseans should have a right to vote because they vote conservative. If you're not in Tennessee, you should have a right to vote because you don't know who the hell you're voting for.
I guess they wouldn't have a right to vote then, Sam.
Yeah, especially being in Georgia. I hate that state. I know we abut Georgia. Listen, I hate Georgia. I do. I hate driving through it. I hate driving through Atlanta. That's one of the worst states in the world. It sucks.
Well, Atlanta doesn't represent all of Georgia.
I hate Georgia. I love Tennessee.
Okay, Sam.
I hate Florida, too. Florida's slogan should be, Florida, we hate children, and we moved here to die.
They really love alligators, too, apparently.
Love Tennessee. All right, let's talk about this tweet of the gorilla being shot.
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And by the way, if you have an opinion, I may let you give it. No, you can give it. I'm not going to bite your head off. Don't be a sissy.
He only bites my head off.
I'm not going to call him in because he may yell at me. 423-800-8949. 800-8949. That's actually a local number. I was kind of clever to get that 800 in there.
Very trickster. Of course, nobody gets charged for long distance anyway.
I get paid the big bucks, right?
Right.
All right. So now what were you saying?
I got a little bit of attention on Twitter actually for tweeting about the gorilla, because I said that I used to kill gorillas like them back at the zoo and stack them like sandbags, which of course is a quote from Gran Torino. And I said that I would shoot a gorilla in 5 seconds and go home and sleep like a baby that almost died. So I have no qualm.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, see, I have no problem with shooting gorillas at all. I think more should die.
I think you should do our tweets.
No.
And it just cracks me up like PETA.
Oh, I know.
We're a bunch of nut jobs. I actually lived with one. It was my girlfriend for years.
Oh, gosh.
Hardcore PETA. We were so opposite.
How does that work?
I don't even survive. Even the sex wasn't good, so I don't even know why we survived for 12 years. So I guess it's like hanging around you. I'm glutton for punishment. Right? You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, this big outcry of a gorilla was shot. How about all the unborn babies that are murdered? Like 1 million a year, late-term abortion. You don't hear any of that. You know why? Because they hate humans.
Yeah.
They hate themselves. First of all, they're self-hating, and they hate people. So they live vicariously through the animals.
Well, I would say this, too, to take it a step further. They're much more likely to give animals rights than they are unborn people.
Yeah, they think animals have rights.
What kind of logic is that?
Well, animals have. You can't have the only way you can have a right is to be able to claim it.
Right.
If you can't claim it, you don't have it. What does that mean? That means, well, you tell me where you were. No, I won't. I'm claiming my Fifth Amendment right. You have to claim it. If you can't claim it, you don't have. It's not just given to you. Well, and this is another government school lie. You have rights. No, you don't. There's two biggest lies you were told by your mom and dad. And I know you're not going to say anything because you just don't. I know you don't. I did and I will. Is that you have rights and that you're free. Both are false. If you have to file forms with the government and give them your information, and you need to get a license for everything, you ain't free. That's number one.
Right. I mean,
put my picture. And number two,
if I have to ask permission,
you don't have rights. You don't just have them. Oh, I have a right to speech. Really? Do what I do, and you'll see how much of a right you have when they come and rip your transmitter out, which they've done.
Oh, yeah.
Or they try to silence you or whatever. You have to claim a right. The Supreme Court said rights are only granted to belligerent claimants in person, which means you have to stand up. You have to fight for it. You have to be warlike. You're not coming in my house. You're not checking my trunk. No, I'm standing on my Fourth Amendment, God-given observation, enumerated into a constitution for you not to search my car. It's not just given to you. But mom and dad told you, I bet you mom and dad told you were free, right?
No.
Bet you they told you had rights.
Probably at some point.
But see, you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
This guy, he's never set foot in the schoolroom, have you?
I don't know if that's something to brag about. But
and that's what it is. That's why you're so smart. And the reason is because you don't wear shoes. They wouldn't let you in a...
I don't let the toxins from the shoes leach into my bloodstream.
They wouldn't let you in the schoolhouse without shoes. That's why. All right, this is... what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
I don't know. What is the show called?
Best Shot.
Best Shot. That's right.
Get your head together, man.
I knew that. Hey, man, get your head together, man. We got to go to class, man. Come on. I knew that. I just wanted to see if you were on top of it.
I'm always on top of it.
So what you need to do is you need to go to Twitter, Hot News Talk Radio, look at all of our tweets. And if you don't like a tweet or you like it, let us know about it. And, you know, it's amazing how many people are afraid to call talk shows.
Oh, yeah.
800-8949, 423-800-8949. And a lot of times when you hear people on other talk shows, they're set up. People don't realize that. They have their friends, family, radio station members call and go, hey, talk about this.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, or it's the same 5 people. We don't do that. If you call, you call. If you don't, that just means you want to be educated.
Our callers are organic. The ones we do get are very organic. Something that I was talking about with you the other day, though, is the whole idea of Memorial Day and how I think it's either... I'm not offended by much, right? But I think it is a little bit offensive when people say Happy Memorial Day, right? I mean, that's not like a happy thing.
No, it's really not.
It's really not a happy thing because it's a very solemn thing, memorializing people who've died for the country. That's not really a happy thing per se. Right. It's like it's not like a holiday where it's like, hey, happy Memorial Day. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah, we're not going to play Madonna's Holiday, Celebrate.
What was that?
And then pan to the white crosses, you know.
Right.
You know, who Bernie Sanders would probably pee on as a typical socialist. You ever notice socialists never carry the American flag? They hate this country.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
They're a bunch of losers.
Which is weird because...
by the way, I've never met a socialist that wasn't a loser. Ever.
Yeah.
I'm 58 years old. I've never met a socialist that wasn't a loser.
I can't think of any.
Total losers. Matter of fact, here's one of my tweets here. Socialist trash criminals let government do dirty work for them. I have to do this because there's only 140 characters. Because the cowards don't have guts to steal your money. And what I meant by that was these socialists are basically criminals. You know, the definition of socialism is government control over production and distribution.
Right. It's theft by proxy.
Right. So they don't have the courage to put a gun in your belly and steal your money. or walk in and tell you how to run your business. They want a government institution to do it.
Yeah, can you imagine if I walked up, I was like, give me about 15% of what you own right now? Nobody's going to do that.
Well, that's what a socialist is. A socialist is basically a thief. And the best ones are the ones that want to rule by committee. We have a community garden, and we're going to rule by committee? Are you serious? I can't imagine the employees here running this place. You nut jobs? You guys can't run a pencil sharpener, let alone a radio station.
Well, pencil sharpeners run themselves.
Owners of other radio stations and general managers do listen, because I know you do, because you don't have an original thought. Say they listen to us. But can you imagine your employees running your radio station? How long would it be before they'd flush it right down the toilet?
You'd walk in and be on fire.
Yeah, like every other business. The reason why business works in America is because your rear end is on the line. The owner has money on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't do the right things the right way, he's out of business.
And a key aspect of that is the employees caring about the business, too. You have to.
Now, I'm not saying all employees are bad, but at 5 o'clock on a Friday, you hear, that's exactly right. Nothing.
Right.
But on payday, oh, man, payday, no one's sick. I thought you were sick. I am kind of sick, but I made it in. I crawled my way in through the traffic, and I'm so. Can I get these?
Well, there was that time that I went on the air when I had a flu. So
that's why I hate unions. Not you. You come to you. Listen, if you're not at work, chances are you're in the hospital. You're in the emergency room.
I don't go to the hospital.
So that's aside from Russell. Russell's more like a partner than an employee. I'd never call you an employee.
Well, thank you.
You're too good to be an employee. But that's the only compliment you'll ever get from me. And damn it, it's on the record. Oh, man.
I got to show this to all my friends.
I cannot believe this. This is actually on the record. This is called Best Shot. Gives you a chance to look at our Twitter page, Hot News Talk Radio, and see all the tweets that I wrote. And I think I've written over 6,000 now in the past couple of years.
I remember when we broke the 3,000 mark.
That was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Here's one here.
Oh, can we not do that one?
No, I'm going to do it.
Can we not do that one?
No, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm going to actually show it right here.
Oh, no. This tweet offended me, I'll say.
You're a wussy.
I'm not. How dare you?
Were you from Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it offended.
Shut up.
Okay, so your governor is such a wimp.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, you can't have guns on campuses.
Well, yeah. But
hey, I know where we can kill people on campuses because they can't defend themselves.
Confederate Mike.
What a stupid governor.
All Americans are wussies. Look at Obama.
Well,
see?
I'm getting a report that we have dead air. We're back now.
I've got you.
This happened years ago. I was on the air in Allentown in the 70s, did a talk show. And when I went on the air, every time my show went on, the signal died.
Really?
Yeah, we found out it was an AT&T worker 30 miles away cutting the feed. I'm not making
Someone's
that
got a vendetta.
Yeah.
My gosh. EPB is good, though. They won't do that to us.
Yeah, that brakes cut. All sorts of neat things.
Oh, my gosh.
Things. But so this one tweet says, and this was Memorial Day, on the left side of the page, if you can see this on Facebook.
Is that intentional? Is symbolic that he's on the left side of the page?
Yeah, exactly. He's kicking a ball on the beach. And on the right side is soldiers walking on the beach. Looks like Normandy. And my headline was, they sacrificed so you can play with your balls.
That is Normandy, actually. That's D-Day right there.
Yeah, it is Normandy. Okay. Can you imagine these guys your age fighting now the way they did back then? Oh, I can't wear my sandals.
No, I'll agree. People my age are a bunch of wussies.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, myself included. I couldn't do that. Could you do that? I couldn't do that. Normandy? No way.
Nah, not now. Like, when I was your age, I probably could. So, normally we'd go to a break right now, but you know what? I don't feel like it. We're going to continue to talk.
I'm actually 4F, by the way. If there was a draft, that'd be 4F.
Why? With your back?
Yeah, my back. And yeah, heart condition too.
A what?
Heart condition.
What's wrong with your heart? Is it broken?
Palpitations, man. Well, yeah, but.
Oh, that's such a phony thing.
I'm all jacked up, dude.
Anyone can get a doctor to say that.
No, I'm serious. Like, this is not wartime even we're talking about. A doctor's like, you have a messed up back and you got a heart condition. And I said, well, what, theoretically, what if there's a draft? And he says, you'd be 4F, man.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
I mean, it's not like I want to be.
So you can't type?
I can.
Well, I would put you in a non-combat position.
No, yeah, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with a combat position. I'm just saying medically.
No, put you in a non-combat. You don't even have to go to basic training. Just type for us.
No, you do have to go to basic.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, everybody does.
Oh, I know. Okay. America's most unqualified person ever to be President, Obama, yet disrespected, which I think was a big mistake.
It was, even him going there was kind of a big mistake, honestly.
I don't know that it was necessarily a good idea to drop one bomb and kill 100,000 Japanese, but let's face it, they are Asians, so Who cares, right?
No,
but
that's not. No,
but
we're going to be off the air tomorrow.
Let us remember. Let us remember, they did kill many thousands of Americans by surprise attack in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something to forget. But, I mean, did the civilians do that? You know, there's a whole big moral argument you could get into about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's a whole big thing.
You know, more people were killed with our firebombs than the...
I actually did know that. It wasn't the 2 atomic bombs that made them surrender. It was the subsequent bombings.
It was actually the firebombs.
Yeah.
Because they lived in grass huts. Those in grass huts shouldn't throw fireballs.
Is that proverb you just made up?
Actually did. You know, I didn't particularly like Trump that much, and I don't want to just talk about Trump this hour. About 6 or 7 months ago,
well, we really haven't talked about him at all yet.
But when I found out who was against him, I started to like him, like Lindsey Graham. I despise Lindsey Graham. I hate him. I don't hate anybody, but I hate Lindsey Graham.
Him and John McCain. I'm serious. Like, these two people make me very angry, and I'm not an angry
you know
guy.
what, McCain? Okay, you were at a POW camp with so were thousands of other Americans. All right, so move on. Okay, move on. There's a lot of heroes that are dead. They didn't talk, and they died in the POW camps. So let's move on. It doesn't negate the fact that you're a liberal. You know, POW camp or not, you're a liberal.
What can I tell?
I don't care what your military service is. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care if you're transgender, boy, girl, monkey. If you're a liberal, you're a socialist. Why do I care? You're a Republican. You're like Arlen Specter was in Pennsylvania. You're a Republican socialist. And let me tell you, you Republicans voting for these socialists, you're just as bad. You ruined the party. Why do you think we have Trump? The hell are you doing voting for George Bush? Bush was more liberal than Clinton, and Clinton was liberal. He grew the government larger than Clinton did. He sent us to war without a declaration. I didn't make this stuff up. The Constitution says you go to war with a declaration. You can't change the language and go, oh, it's not war, it's a police action. Right. Oh, it's not killing unborn babies, it's abortion. You're changing the language to try to trump the law. No pun intended.
Right.
So here we have a strong guy. Finally, a man in charge. Finally.
High energy.
Finally, the adults are coming back to the White House. Hillary's not going to make it. I swear to you. And I know people say this. And people would love to see me go, I'm gone. If Hillary becomes president, not only am I gone, I'm rescinding my citizenship because I don't want to be an American anymore. I swear to you, if this country votes for Hillary Clinton, I'm going. I don't know what I have to do it. I'm going to research it. I'm not an American citizen anymore. I'm done. I'm leaving. Done. Expatriate, and then when we all get enough power together and we get the military, we convince the Air Force and the Navy and the Army to take the country back, I'll join the military at 65. Let's take it back, guys. Hillary's in Washington, and the entire military comes to our island. We load it on a ship. I don't care if I die in the fight. I'm done.
Okay.
Thinking about going to Panama.
You got that out of your system? Oh, you could take over Panama. It's not hard.
How about the Galapagos Islands? Well, that'd be kind of cool.
I think we should go to like Seychelles, a place that's really easy to take over.
Where?
Seychelles. It's in the Caribbean.
Well, I know a place with no military.
France?
Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica, yeah.
Costa Rica has no military.
That's true. Yeah, Costa Rica, Cuba would probably be easy enough, actually. What if we could depose Castro and go to Cuba?
Why didn't we kill him years ago? Why didn't the CIA take care of him?
Well, they tried to.
No, they didn't.
No, I said air quotes. They tried.
Do you realize that the CIA dropped him off in the 50s? They dropped him off. They literally flew him there.
Did they actually?
They actually flew him there. He got off a CIA plane.
I thought he went on a ship with Guevara.
No, listen, they're not telling you this, but powers within the United States government has always wanted Fidel Castro there. Yeah. Because if they didn't, we could have taken out that little island with no problem.
I mean, it does make sense when you think about it. If you have a constant threat that's right there, it does make the people more malleable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that angle does make sense.
I mean, I don't buy it for a minute that they didn't want it there. They absolutely wanted it there. All right, we're doing our best shot today between 11 and 12. If you have an opinion on any one of our tweets, you can go to...
Oh, can we talk about that for a second? Because you saw the violence that happened at the rally too long ago.
Go to Twitter
yesterday
and search Hot News Talk Radio, and you'll see all the tweets we did over the past week. And on Best Shot, you have a chance to talk about those tweets. So this tweet here is... And if you're on YouTube, you can see us on the camera holding up our phone, because this is the only way now to get it on Facebook Live. It's the first time we're doing it on Facebook, by the way, broadcasting live video. It's my first time. And you have to do it with your smartphone, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's what we're using. But this here says...
I'll read it for you. Left only tolerant of their speech/expression. I say pepper spray, smack, and throw the little bastards in jail.
Yeah.
First time it's sworn on the air. We know.
Well, that's not actually a swear.
No, it's really not. No, it just means illegitimate child.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So you saw the video probably yesterday about the woman who had the egg thrown on her, right? And they were pushing it around, and they were waving around Mexican flags in front of her. And this was in San Juan, I'm wanting to say. I believe it was San Juan where that happened. And, you know, obviously this is quite violent. And this is not new to American politics. Violence from parties is not new in American politics by any means.
Oh, it's happened in Jefferson days.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were really going at each other.
They had duels.
They would duel back then.
They shot each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this is not new, but it's new to the 21st century, I guess. And it is expressive of that, though, that the left is only tolerant of their view and expression. Because if it was a bunch of leftist socialists out there, communists with the hammer and sickle, nobody would say anything. Nobody would beat them up. But because it's people who challenge the status quo, and I'm not even saying that as a Trump supporter, because I'm really not. I like it. I like that he shakes things up, but politically, I can't say I support him, per se.
Oh, I want to see him get elected. Because I think people are so afraid of him because, first of all, what does he have to gain? He has all the money in the world. He's self-funded. He's the kind of business guy that doesn't kiss anybody's rear end. And he's going to get in there and he's going to turn over the woodpile. And he's going to see a lot of stuff under there. And I think a lot of people are going to go to jail. A lot of people are going to go to jail.
I hope so.
And he's not going to start a war. He didn't want to go to the Iraq war.
Well, the exception would be if somebody attacked us.
Well, obviously, if somebody attacked us, but
right.
I still believe he'll go to Congress to get permission to go to war, like every president should do.
I sure hope so.
There's no authority. Just get this. I didn't make this up. This is in the Constitution. There is no authority to send your son anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, to fight and die in a so-called police action that's really a war without a declaration of war by Congress. And the founders did that for a reason, because King George would have police actions all over the world. And the founders said, we're not going to do this unless the entire body of the people are behind it.
And oftentimes he'd use the East India Trading Company to pull that off, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Mercenaries, letters of marque, all that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Letters of marque and reprisal. And that's why Article 1, Section 10 says no state shall grant any letters of marque or reprisal, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment.
Here's a fun bit of trivia for you. The Confederacy had an open letter of marque on any Union ships. They would pay up to 50% of the value of any ship that was sunk by anyone. Kind of fun.
If you know the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Oh, that's a fun one.
It was Tripoli, Libya, and it was the Marines were sent in to quell and put down the Islamists back then.
Pirates.
They were called the Barbary Pirates.
Yep.
They wanted $25,000 per ship per year, and Jefferson ordered 25 warships to be built, and we went in and slaughtered them. So we're not going to do that. So
well, this is only the first time we called an Islamic rebuttal too, because in the Philippines we did the same thing. If you remember the Philippine-American War in 1899, we did exactly the same thing. A lot of Islamists were in the Philippines at the time, and they wanted independence from the United States. And hey, we could argue about that, but the fact of the matter was a lot of them were Islamic, and we quelled them.
Right. Now, this tweet that I tweeted a few days ago, I am not going to say on the air, but I just posted it on Facebook at Hot News Talk Radio. It's just, I do have a little bit of taste that some things I will post and won't say on the air. This is interesting. Trump wins in a landslide. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, well,
You know, what amazes me with the media, it doesn't amaze me, but I find it interesting with the news media, that Benghazi, what are you laughing at?
Yeah, the Billy Crystal.
I'm not going to say that on there either. We'll do it on Facebook, though. Here we go.
If you want to see the exclusive view of his Twitter, go on Facebook and search for our live feed. You can see.
Go to Hot News Talk Radio. Anywhere, you'll find us. But as far as the media getting on Hillary, they won't.
It's not
I guarantee you, even if she's indicted, the media will back her. The media are primarily liberals. And I hate use the word liberal because I'm a Jeffersonian liberal.
Right.
They're socialists. They're pro-government. The media is part of the federal government. Let's just get used to that. That NPR, PBS.
Well, you should say mainstream media because we are technically media.
The mainstream media. ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC,
All the
Fox,
three-letter stuff.
All these guys basically are part of the national government. And they're part of even these TV shows you watch. The federal government pays writers in Hollywood to put certain pro-government propaganda into their scripts.
Well, that happened with that movie about what happened in, gosh, I can't believe I'm not, Zero Dark 30. A lot of that happened. The Navy put in a lot of stuff into Zero Dark 30. Very much a propaganda film.
Right. So a lot of things the government can't do directly. It's illegal for the federal government to broadcast to Americans. That's why the Voice of America must broadcast to foreigners.
Which is American propaganda.
Right. The federal government cannot own a radio station. They cannot own a TV station. It's illegal for them to broadcast. So they do it by other means. You get a bunch of socialists, a bunch of collectivists, a bunch of liberals in there that give endowment for the arts or other types of money for struggling artists that are writers. And what happens is they make a suggestion as to what should be in their scripts. And of course, if that particular writer does that, they're favored by the government again to get another grant that next year. So when you're watching these sitcoms and these television shows, please understand that even though they pretend to be independent, a lot of it is federal government propaganda. And that is to say, this is what they want: your time, your money, and your obedience. That's what all governments ask of you: your time, your money, and your obedience. And as you get further away from that, the more free you are. The only thing you really can control in your life is your time. So as you control more of your time, more of your money, and more of your essence, you're more free. As you become less obedient, as you become less mindful of pleasing your masters, as you become more mindful of your time, the freer you become. Now, school and mom and dad taught you the opposite. They taught you be a good boy and girl, do well in school, go to college, go to the corporation, make sure, you got to go to the church on Sundays. Even though the church may not preach about how unborn babies are being killed, just being there glorifies God. Just being there. Not talking about how to get saved and how unborn babies are being slaughtered, and never vote for a Democrat or a rhino because they're evil bastards, because in their platform they believe in killing unborn babies.
I tell you what.
So how can you have even a conversation with someone that believes that morally? I've told family members that. Do me a favor. Don't invite me to your party, your weddings, your funerals, whatever, because I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to tick everybody off just to get it started, and they don't.
Can I tell you real quick? I've actually been to a church, not saying which one for their sake. I've actually been to a church that said taxation is theft in the sermon. I'm not even kidding. That actually really happened at one of them that I went to.
Well, it was interesting with Christ. Christ never said taxation was theft. When handed the coin of Caesar, he says, whose image is this? Well, that's Caesar's. He said, well, render unto Caesar's that which is Caesar's. Render unto God that which is God's. That piece of paper you carry in your pocket, called the Federal Reserve note, is not federal. There's nothing in reserve. It's not a note. It's evidence of debt. The money created in the banking system that never leaves it.
And there's a huge spiritual message embedded in it.
But however, it isn't yours. It's the Federal Reserve's. You're just using it. I'll take you one step further. That a creditor can be compelled to accept that paper under legal tender laws, which means the government gives you the authority to steal.
Yeah.
And because of that, they can take so much of it back and out of circulation. Isn't that interesting? Now, silver coinage is owned in allodium. You own that. You have a silver coin, that's your coin. You own that free and clear. You have a gold coin.
Much prefer assets, as in tangible items, computers, guns, whatever, and actual coinage, real coinage over paper money any day.
And someone once told me you're not going to be able to eat gold and silver, and I agree with that. That if there is a collapse, you have to have a way to eat.
Sure.
But it's interesting that the Supreme Court ruled, I believe, in the 30s, that growing a garden in your backyard can be stopped if the government so deems it affecting interstate or intrastate commerce.
Well, that's happening.
Isn't that amazing?
That is happening right now in South Pittsburgh. People in public housing had gardens in their yard, and the housing authority came in and said he can't do that because they're messing up the landscaping, they said.
Well, what they're doing is they're interfering with commerce.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. I'm using their verbiage.
Right.
They're interfering with commerce. So by growing a garden, you're not buying the food in the store. See, this is why, and I find this to be very interesting. This is why individuals that claim to be conservative and don't want government handouts, let's say food stamps, now they're on cards.
EBT cards.
The corporations benefit from that because these big monoliths will accept those.
Well, it's like free money for them.
I'm waiting for them to accept it for cigarettes now.
Please.
I bet you any day now you'll be able to use your food stamp card to buy cigarettes.
Maybe even weed.
So do you see what's happening here?
The day comes.
You've got, and this is why, in case you're wondering, this is why Wall Street and the Wall Street Journal and the criminals on Wall Street love socialist liberals and Hillary. It's controlled capitalism, because the big guys benefit from big government, and the individuals that were made to be poor by the Democrats and socialists benefit by big government. See, a Democrat and a rhino and a socialist can't survive without an underclass. They're not talented enough to work for a living. Can you imagine Hillary trying to work, like do a job? I've never met a bureaucrat or a politician that can actually work for a living. They starve.
Is a speech work? I mean...
But you understand my point.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to create an underclass. In the meantime, they have to also benefit the wealthy, the upper class, to make sure those laws get passed so they keep their jobs and the underclass is just being fed. But in the middle is the average person that goes to work every single day, and he or she tries to feed their family, and they suck money out of their paycheck.
Like a
and
pyramid scheme.
They do everything that mom and dad told them was right to do. They follow the rules. And all of a sudden, some illegal walks in from Mexico or comes in from every other country with 4 little babies attached to her leg and 1 in the oven, and swipes this card and gets free stuff when you're working for it. There's something wrong with that picture. And if you believe that's okay, then you pay for them. You invite them to your house. I want to see Hillary do that, by the way. I want to see, because I can tell you this, Barack Obama's kids aren't going to public schools.
Oh, no.
And neither are Hillary Clinton's. But I want to see them take these people in first. Do it yourself first, Hillary. Don't you compel me to do it. Let me tell you something. I will never listen to her, ever, or anyone under her, ever. And there are a lot of people like me. So even if you elect her, guess what? The people that produce things in this country aren't going to obey anymore. This is coming down to the wire, let me tell you. Trump is the last hope for this country. I have people tell me that they're ready to fight. Trump is the last hope. Enough is that people are fed up. They're done. That's why gun sales are through the roof. That's why you can't find ammunition. First of all, the federal government's buying it up. And when there is available weapons and gun and ammunition, the public is buying it up.
And they get the first pick, too. When the manufacturers, Winchester makes a bunch of rounds of 5.56, the government buys it up.
Now, I'm not suggesting anything.
Oh, no.
I'm just analyzing, and I'm telling you what I've seen and I've heard in my 58 years. And I've done talk radio since the 70s. I have never, ever seen people so upset. They're done. They're done having their money stolen. They're done answering questions. They're done filing forms. They're done being harassed. So people can come over to this country and get free stuff on their back. They're done with their jobs being stolen and taken overseas. People of America are done. And Hillary Clinton and that old curmudgeon socialist Bernie Sanders represents that old hippies, 60s, stinky, socialist, Marxist, fascist, communist generation. And the only good thing about the 60s is that all you people will be dead soon that are in your 70s that supported that stuff. Because we didn't. We're the 70s generation. We're individualists. We don't believe in what you people in the 60s believed in. Drugs, free love, blah, blah, blah. Then again, I never paid for it, so I guess I do believe in free love. But I mean, enough is enough. Enough. We had to put up with these 60s creeps, that 60s generation for you. Enough is enough. Go away. Go to Florida. Go to the villages. All of you. You know what we should do? Anyone 65 plus that's a Democrat and will vote Democrat, we need to just put them in a different part of the country.
California. Well, you have it. It's a partition. You have California, you have Florida. That's where they go. It's already partitioned. You just need to enforce it, I guess.
When are working people? When are you going to stand up as a working person? When are you going to say, I've had enough? I'm tired of paying for everyone and living paycheck to paycheck while people coming over here and are living for free off of your dollar. Slaughtering unborn babies on your dollar. Taking money out of your paycheck to give to organization to kill an unborn child. When are you going to say enough's enough? Churches, when are you going to grow some and say something about it? Instead of just saying, well, the sermon today is on how to love your neighbor.
You need to love your neighbor more. Shut up and talk about some real stuff. You think Christ would be talking about that, or a million unborn babies slaughtered in America today? You preachers disgust me. You're almost worse than non-Christians because you're not talking about the right stuff because you're afraid to lose your 501c3 tax-exempt status. That's why, because you're afraid when people donate, they can't write it off, so you're not being true to your God. God hates you. God hates those that pretend to be Christians and preach nothing. Every single sermon on Wednesdays and Sundays, Catholic, Protestant, Baptist, I don't care what you are, it should start with, you know how many babies are going to be killed today? 2,000 babies in the womb are going to be slaughtered. Every sermon just, what are you going to do about that? Do you know who supports this? And read the names. Hillary Clinton, on and on and on. Barack Obama. I don't see him doing it. I've gone to a lot of churches. They like to sing. Oh, they like to sing.
Well, that's happy.
And I'm a Christian. I'm maybe not a good one. And the reason why I'm Christian is I recognize I'm not a good one. But I've got to be better every day. I've got to forgive. I have trouble forgiving because I get aggravated.
I've noticed.
I get aggravated. What are you doing? I get aggravated, you know? My blood pressure goes up.
I can see you're red right now, by the way.
I got some engine in me a little bit.
All right.
I'm 10% engine.
All right, Elizabeth Warren.
That's where the red comes from.
Right.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. But my point is, the song is okay. It really, you can sing a song at the beginning of the, but these churches, please preach the word. Please, say something of value to get America. Look at what Martin Luther King Jr. did. Man, he used his preaching to stir a nation, whether you like him or not. And I certainly hated his politics, but I respect the man. He got a whole nation motivated. Let us not judge a man by the color of his skin, but the content of his character. What a great line.
Who can argue with that?
Look at Rosa Parks. I ain't sitting in the back of no bus.
And look at the nonviolence, too. That's so exemplary.
And she exerted her rights. She wasn't given them. Oh, Rosa, you have rights. You can ride on the front of the bus. No. She demanded them. She took them. She grasped them. I'm not riding on the back of a bus. Got arrested, fought it, and won. That's what Americans do.
There's a word for that, too. Actually, several words for that. Belligerent claimant in person.
Why aren't we doing that? And we also need to look up if you're ever going to research a Supreme Court case, if you've never done it, do it because it's fun. And the Supreme Court really writes in very basic English. They don't write for lawyers.
No.
When the Supreme Court makes a decision, it's for you and I to read.
It's for the public record.
Hale versus Henkel.
Amazing.
A great case. It talks about the distinction between a corporation and an individual and how an individual may stand upon his constitutional rights, but a corporation is a privilege it may not.
Well, what's the other one you were referring to not too long ago about currency from I think it was the later 1800s?
Well, that was Juilliard versus Greenman.
Juilliard, thank you. Yeah.
But the dissenting opinion on that's great.
Yes.
That's what I read and didn't write my book on, but that was a part of the passage.
I've actually shown a few friends that quote. They love it.
Yeah, where Justice Fields said that he only sees evil likely to follow with the emission of paper money. And that was redeemable paper currency.
Right.
So
that actually had some value even back then.
It had value back then. Yeah. Sure.
But he's saying the slippery slope, I guess.
Well, we're almost out of time here, so we're not going to take any phone calls because we thank you guys for all your calls today, by the way. You were so informative. We've gotten, but we can't take any more phone calls.
Unfortunately.
But on Hale versus Hinkle, it's interesting that the Supreme, not Hale versus Juilliard versus Greenman, it was the first time the Supreme Court ruled that. Oh, look at that.
Is that a sign?
Do, 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 do.
Our sign fell down.
Is that a sign? No pun intended here.
Right.
That fell even more.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
I know. Isn't that something?
I think you're going to be struck down. Actually, it's on my side. I haven't even done anything.
That if you contracted for silver dollars, you can be compelled to accept paper.
Yes. Yeah.
But the paper had redemption quality on it. It was redeemable.
Now, is that applicable today? If I was contracted for silver, would they?
Because it hasn't been changed. I tried to fight it in the 80s, and they just let it sit. They wouldn't take on the issue.
Really?
They did. Well, you know the case. They took on one issue, but
I wanted to fight the idea that there's no Supreme Court case saying that non-redeemable Federal Reserve so-called notes can be compelled to be accepted in lieu of a debt.
Right.
In lieu of actual payment. But there's no case, so we don't know.
Right.
In other words, in English, what we're trying to say, folks, is this. Not folks, you. Like we're on TV. Say, we're on TV, and I'm already saying folks.
For the folks at home.
For the folks at home.
Can you please explain for the folks at home what silver
Even
is?
though we're talking to one person, but
David Letterman.
Long story short is that if you were going to contract for whatever, let's say having your house built.
Sure.
And you said,
right.
And you said at the end of my house being built, I'm going to deliver 50,000 silver dollars to you.
That's a lot of money, by the way.
50,000 silver dollars. Well, at the end of the year, the house is built, and you don't deliver the 50,000 silver dollars. You deliver 50,000 paper dollars. I'll call them dollars for the sake of argument.
Because that's what we know them as.
Right. That contractor will be compelled to accept the paper because it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private.
They have to accept it. They're legally bound.
Well, my position is all legal tender laws are unconstitutional. They're not authorized by the Constitution. Under Article 1, Section 10, it says no state shall impede or impair the obligation of contract. And that's a contract you're making.
Right.
The federal government doesn't have the authority to do it, and the states were denied it. Long story short, after the war to prevent Southern independence, there were pieces of paper floating around there that promised payment in silver. So people were being compelled to accept this. They can go and redeem it for their silver currents, for the silver coins, but they were receiving paper.
Arguably because the silver coins didn't actually exist for all the paper that was in print.
Right. So the court said, in this case, it was, I believe, an 8-1 decision, that you have to accept the paper because ultimately it's being redeemed for silver.
Supposedly.
Well, as of June 24th, 1968, you can no longer redeem or buy back your silver with the paper.
So anyone who had these paper certificates are now being ripped off. They've had all this money stolen from them, essentially. All this worth is now gone.
What gave the paper value was that in a bank vault, there was a piece of silver backing it up.
Supposedly.
So you brought the silver in, you received a piece of paper saying, pay to the bearer on demand $1 in silver.
Right.
Well, the bankers kept all the silver and let you play with the paper, then started printing more of it, which devalued it.
Well, it's convenient. That was the thing.
So we can easily say, without much trouble, that bankers and the feds are criminals.
Easy.
Because they stole our silver in 1968, stole the gold in the 20s, and the Federal Reserve in 1913 that was created was one big illegal, unconstitutional fraud.
It wasn't even the first national bank either. We had others before it.
And we're not even stretching to say that.
No.
But now that we're down to a minute, I'm going to say, Russell, this has been fun.
It has been.
It's our first broadcast on Facebook Live.
I can take my earplugs out now.
You and I. And Russell does this every Friday.
Every Friday.
Between 11 and 12. It's called Best Shot.
It's a lot more laid back when I do it. I don't scream much.
And you have the chance to look at all of our Twitter shots throughout the week, which I'll admit I write all of them, whether you like them or not. But
Please admit that.
But then you could scream at Russell Friday between 11 and 12 as to whether you like the tweet or not. We're at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, all over the internet, everywhere. Just search Hot News Talk Radio. And now live. I love this feature.
It's cool.
On Facebook. Hot News Talk Radio. Calling numbers 800-8949. Colin Cowherd is next.
You give us 12 minutes and 4 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 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you